Yam Brahma Purnanda Rudra Maruta Stunanti Divyastavair Vedai Sangapada Kurmupanishadair Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgati Namanasa Pashanti Yam Yogino Yashyantam Navidu Sura Suravana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Meditation on the Bhagavad Gita. I salute the Shining One, whose praise is sung in diverse verses by Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra and Maruts, whose glories are proclaimed by the bards of in the verses and the chapters of the Vedas, whom the yogis see when their minds are absorbed in contemplation, and whose limit is not known by the hosts of gods and others. Om Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace be unto all. This morning our subject is Thoughts on the Gita, part 114. We are studying Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga, the way to the Supreme Spirit. Purushottama. Purusha is a very special word in the Vedantic tradition. Puri means city, cave, cavity. Shete, sleeps. That is Purusha. The person who sleeps, dwells, stays, lives in the cavity of the heart. He is Purusha. Who lives there? Atman, Ishvara, God. All human beings are carrying God all the time, but they do not know. It is really interesting that we are carrying God all the time. We live with God all the time, but we do not know Him. Spiritual life begins when we begin in search of that Purusha. When we search that Supreme Spirit whom we are carrying all the time in our heart. That is called spiritual life. Why can we not go and see within our hearts? The Upanishad tells us, Paranchi khani betrina sayambhu, parang paishyanti nantaratman, Kvasyid dhira prattagatmana vaikshat, avrita chakshu, amritattam icchan. God created the senses with outgoing tendencies. So they are always going outside. There are some few, those who have a steady wisdom, they turn their minds inward and just stop the outgoing tendencies of the senses. And thus they behold the Atman, God within. It is a very difficult thing to put the mind within. As I sometimes say, if the day you have a good meditation, very indrawn, you will experience two things. You will not know that where you are and how long you are meditating. That means you transcended the space and time. That is the sign of deep meditation. But the materialists, most 99%, more than 99%, they think there is no Atman, there is no God. We see the body, body is the Atman. That is the thought of the materialists. But why don't you believe in God? Because you do not see Him. The thing which you do not see, that thing does not exist. That is their view. They believe only one evidence, perception, pratyaksha. But what do you see? Well, I see only 4 elements. Khiti, earth, up, water, tej, fire, heat, and vayu, air. These are the 4 things we see. So they exist. And these human bodies are these 4 things. But then how does the consciousness come? Oh, that is a chemical reaction of these 4 elements that they believe. Consciousness, Atman, is the chemical reaction of the body. But if there is an Atman, the moment your body is burned, everything is gone. So their philosophy is, Rinam kritva gritang pibet. If you have no money, borrow money from your friends and eat ghee, butter. That means eat, drink, and be merry. That is their philosophy. Most people in this world think that way, body. That is the reason Upanishad, there is one section of the Upanishad called Ashuri Upanishad in Chandogya Upanishad. Virochana found this body is the Atman after 32 years of spiritual disciplines. A Atman dwells in the human heart. In Upanishad, Gauvar, Guha, Rit, Hridaya, Rit Padma, these are the words we find in the Upanishad. It is all within. Atma is a janto nihito guhayam. This Atma, janto means all these beings, nihito, embedded, guhayam, in the cavity of the heart. I shall tell you today a few instructions so that you can practice how to go within. You know, we read too much philosophy, this, that, but we must learn something practical. Those who have guru, they are lucky. They know the instruction, what to do. Even we can know more from other teachers also. Here are some guidelines of spiritual life so that we can go within. First, I sometimes say, set up a shrine in your house. Vedanta is not the Sanjay religion. In Christianity, you will find the old people go to the churches on Sundays. They pray. I don't know any Christian people, they have a shrine like us, you know, so that they can meditate every day. I don't know. Same thing, some religions. Their religion is on weekend or on one day a year. But in this respect, Muslims pray 5 times a day. So I sometimes suggest you have a shrine. A separate room is better. If not, a corner of your room. If you do not have that space, give a little wall space. Keep some beautiful pictures of gods and goddesses whom you like. Then keep some books, scriptures. Gita, Upanishad, Bible, or Sri Ramakrishna Swamiji's books, mother's books. Keep in your shrine. Read every day. And set up a time. Perhaps morning I shall sit at 6 o'clock, evening 6 o'clock, or any time you choose, which is convenient for you. Try to spend 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening in the shrine. Among 24 hours, give 2 hours to spiritual pursuit. In the Yoga Sutra, Kshauna Rahasya is very important. You set up a time for your breakfast, 8 o'clock, lunch, 1 o'clock, supper, 8 o'clock. Your stomach will demand food all those times. Similarly, you create such an habit so that your mind will ask food, spiritual food. 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Third, holy company, which is very, very important. People do not realize that how important to have a center in our city, so that you can have the company of the Swamis or any other good holy devotees. Very helpful. Fourth, Bhakshanyam. Try to control speech. Don't talk about worldly things. Fifth, have control over your food. If you eat too much or too much rajasic, spicy, very fancy gourmet food, very difficult for meditation. That your energy will be consumed to digest that food. If you have whole food, stomach whole, you cannot meditate. Sri Ramakrishna used to ask his devotees, have you seen the Himalayas? Have you seen the ocean? Then you will get a glimpse of the vastness, it's infinite. So try to keep some pictures in your room, ocean, mountain, that will give you some kind of inspiration. Shun seeing fault in others. No human being is perfect. We have so many problems, imperfections. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, there is a proverb in your language, Chaluni bolen chunchke, tur pichene ekte dhaga. A strainer is telling a needle that you see you have a hole at your back. But the strainer has innumerable holes that he doesn't see it. Those who have faults, they see fault in others. Fault finding is very bad in spiritual life. Practice some kind of basic virtues, non-violence. I shall not do any harm to anybody. Speak the truth. Be simple. And love people, serve people. Have compassion. Next, don't try to delve your past. Some people brood over their past things. It is over. Suppose you have done some mistakes. That doesn't mean you will have to brood that thing all the time. Let it be gone, be bygone. Start your new spiritual life, journey. Don't think about the past, don't think about the future. See the present. Act in the living present. Your past, your present is the outcome of your past. And your future will be the outcome of the present. If you want to be spiritual, you will have to start right now. Shreyangshi Bahu Vignani. Some people try to plan, when I shall retire, I shall practice spiritual disciplines, I shall meditate. They are foolish people. If you think all the waves of the ocean will subside and then I shall take bath in the ocean, you will never get bath in your life. You will have to jump into the wavy ocean and finish your bath. Samudre shanta kollole sratum ichchati durmati. In old age, all aches and pains will come. You will be involved with children, grandchildren. It will not work. Some people want to result immediately. After practicing 1 or 2 days, I am not finding any result. They are foolish people. Swami Turiyananda used to say, suppose you planted a small plant into the ground, and every day you are lifting, let me see how much root has gone down, that plant will die. Just settle it. You planted it, just pour water, give fertilizer, and remove the weeds. That plant will grow. That is called a spiritual life. Have devotion. Have discrimination. And have passion for truth. Devotion, discrimination, and passion. Those 3 things will expedite the growth of your spiritual life. Don't think that Jubaibo Dharmashilo Siyat, Mahabharata says, practice spiritual discipline when you are young. When your body is strong, mind is strong, senses are strong, at that time you can gain something. In old age, very difficult. You do not know when death will come. Look what happened to Swamiji. Sri Ramakrishna told Swamiji wanted Nirvikalpa Samadhi in Kashipur. Thakur says, wait. Time factor is there. Swamiji says, sir, if I die tomorrow, you will get tomorrow. And Swamiji had Nirvikalpa Samadhi next day. He has tremendous yearning, longing. That is indispensable in a spiritual life. Longing, hunger for God. Practicing a few days, we say, we give up. Oh, there is nothing. They are foolish. Sometimes people give up a spiritual life having criticism from others. Don't listen to them. Shun evil company mercilessly. Have patience and perseverance. There is a story of perseverance. There is a chichibi bird. That couple's eggs were taken away by the ocean. which was by the shore. So taken away by the ocean. So the two birds came and, what? We shall try this ocean and get back our eggs. So they are continuously jumping into the ocean and dry the ocean on the ground, shaking their wings. So Vishnu was going with Garuda, the king of the birds. Says, hey, Garuda, look. Your descendants are trying to dry the whole ocean because they lost their eggs. Why don't you help them? Garuda went and with big wings, shook the whole ocean. The ocean was so afraid, they returned the eggs to the birds. That is called perseverance. The Hindus have, in our tradition, there are so many beautiful stories. Beautiful. How much perseverance is necessary? As I say, some people brood of their past bad deeds. Forget it. Manu Samhita says, if you take a vow that I shall not do it again, all of your sins will be wiped out. If you fall once on the ground, is it necessary for you to lie down there all through your life? Says Manu Samhita. Arise, awake. That is the message of the Gita. Last night I was thinking a verse from Panchadoshi, which is one of my favorite verses. How to go within, how one can conquer the mind. Buddha tattena dhidosho sanchunai ekantavasena. Dirgho pranamam ucharjo manarajyo vijayati. It is chapter 4, verse 63, Panchadoshi, by Vidyaranya Muni. This book is the authoritative text of the Vedanta philosophy, Panchadoshi. Buddha Tattena, this spiritual seeker, understood in his intellect, Atman, I am the Atman and there is a Paramatman. This indirect knowledge, he has not experienced it. This indirect knowledge he received from his Guru and from the scripture. That is called Buddha Tattvena. He knows the Tattva, truth, intellectually. Second, Dhidosha Shunnai. Dhi means intellect. What are the defects, imperfections of the intellect? Lust and anger and greed, all this rubbish stuff pollutes the mind. This person is free from lust, greed, anger, jealousy, all these things. That is called Dhidosha Shunnai. Third, Ekanta Vasina. He lives in solitude. Here most people live alone. It is in one sense, it is a great advantage to live alone. Ekanta Vasina, secluded. Sri Ramakrishna used to ask his devotees, Maje Maje Nirjan Vas. You have a big family, time to time go to seclusion. Even you can go to the roof of your house, Sri Ramakrishna used to say. If you cannot go to the forest, at least in a temple or somewhere, in the park, at least few hours, go for seclusion. Then what shall I do there? Dirgho pranavam ucharjo. Repeat the mantra. Pranab. Om. Long breath. Pranab. Pranav is the symbol of Brahman, Om. I went to London in 1992. Swami introduced that those who will come to the shrine before you start meditation, 12 times, long way you repeat this Om. I saw our Toronto Center, all the time they play Om in the shrine. Dirgha Pranavam Ucharja Munraja Vidya. Let me tell you the secret, what happens. Mind goes out through 4 channels. First, through the eyes. Second, through the ears. Third, through the speech. And the fourth, through the mind. Sankalpa Vikalpa, resolution. Pros and thinking, pros and cons. Then, Sriti, old memories. So these are the 4 ways mind goes from the system outside. So when you go to the seclusion, 3 doors are closed. Your mind, your eyes, you are not seeing anybody, you are not hearing anybody, and you are not talking to anybody. So the 3 doors automatically become closed. Very interesting. Your 3 doors are closed automatically when you are in seclusion. You are not seeing anybody, you are not talking to anybody, you are not listening to anybody. When this thing happens, your mind becomes weak. I am not getting any chance to talk to anybody, I am not seeing anybody, I am not hearing anybody. That way mind becomes weak the moment you go to seclusion. This is the secret of the spiritual life. Fourth, mind is still there. It is weak, but still mind is functioning. Brooding, memories. At that time, bombard that mind with this mantra, Om. Or you can use your Ishta mantra, which you received from your Guru. Let me give the analogy, this thing which I told you, how it works. Here is a big fort. The army is there. And now the enemy attacks that fort, encircle. But they did not just start fighting in the very beginning. They are asking, surrender. They do not want to surrender. Then the enemies cut the food supply and the water supply and the power supply. That fort is there, no food is going there, no water is going there, no power is going there. So the fort, the army, the great army in that fort automatically become weak. Then the enemy, does the enemy do? They started to bomb. Bombing on the fort. Then the army collapsed in the fort. That is the way this verse indicates that how you can conquer your mind. Bombard the mind with the mantra. Then the mind will be conquered. Manorajyo vijayati. Vidyaranya Muni says this is the way you can really conquer your mind. I just give you some of my introductory information to you about spiritual life. Now we shall start our Gita. We shall start verse 6. In the verse 5th, Krishna mentioned, free from pride and delusion, with the evil of attachment conquered, ever dwelling in the self, with sensory desires completely receded, liberated from the pairs of opposites known as pleasure and pain, the undeluded reach the goal eternal. This verse is very popular verse, Nirmana Moha Jita Sangha Dosha. That is the introduction. Next, न तद भासयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावक यद गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धामो paramam mama. That the sun illumines not the moon, not fire. That is my supreme abode. Going whither? They return not. Tadhamo paramam mama, my abode, the abode of God, the abode of Brahman, the abode of the Atman, is self-luminous. The sun does not shine there, not the moon, not the fire. Krishna says, Jadgatva na nivartante. When you reach there, you will never return. But we want to return. No. If you have desire, you will return. But if you have no desire to come back, you will not return. Most people have desires. As Holy Mother used to say, even if you have a desire to eat a sandesh, a sweet, you will have to come back. Just think of that, how many millions of desires we have. This light, sun, moon, fire, lightning, all these lights are coming from the source of all light, that is Brahman. Jyoti. Jyoti Brahman in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, you can see that where the light is coming. That supreme state which is my own state, says Krishna. Na nivartante. Na nivartante. For that reason, people do not want God. You will be one with God. That is the reason Jabotis want chini hote chai na ma, chini khete bhalabasi. Mother, I do not want to be sugar. I want to taste sugar. That is the position of the Jabotis. The Jnani, they want to merge. As Sri Ramakrishna gave the example of the three jewels. The stone jewels, worldly people, they bathe in the ocean, they come back, remain the same, no change. Cloth doll went to bathe into the ocean, soaked, jumped on the shore and saved his life, saturated with ocean water. They are devotees. And the salt doll, Jnani, the moment they touch the ocean, they merge with the ocean. So you choose which doll should be your ideal. There is mukti, liberation, not that person does not return. There are some jivan mukti, kruma mukti, shaddha mukti. There are various kinds of liberation. The Jnani wants, they merge as they give an example. Here is a hot plate, here is a drop of water. The moment it touches, immediately that water disappears. That happens. Do you know what that means? That means the moment your ego touches the Supreme Brahman, your ego will vanish. But we do not want to destroy our ego, individuality. That is our big problem. We want to preserve our egos. That is bondage. Maya or mukti. Ego is maya, here is liberation. Ego. The Vedanta philosophy gave more examples. Here is a cup of water, and here is the sun. This water evaporated. When there is water, you see the reflected sun. When the water reflects, when the water dries out, where does the reflection go? That reflection becomes one with the sun. No more reflection. That is one example. Another example, Ghatakash. Here is a jar, inside is the space. Break the jar, this jar space becomes one with cosmic infinite space. So this individual being is the ego, is the jar. That ego is the cup of water. When they are broken, you become one with the infinite. But we do not want to break our things. That is our problem. Jeev, individual soul, becomes one with that cosmic soul, Brahman. In the Upanishad tells us, Tat Srishtva Tadevanu Prabhishad. That Brahman created all these things and he enters. They say that Brahman enters through our crown. But you can erase your ego. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. That is the way you can unite yourself with Brahman. That is the Vedantic way. Next verse. Mamaivangsho jivo loke jivo bhuta sanatana manashasthani indirani prakriti sthani karshati. An eternal portion of myself, having become a living soul in the world of the living, draws to itself from external nature, the five senses, with mind for the sixth. This is the most important message of the Gita. Mamo Vangsho. All these human beings are seeing, they are my parts. We are the parts of God. We are the rays of God. Krishna says, you people are not sinners. You people are not this and that. You are all part of me. Angshu Angshi. There are many schools are there in this connection. One school says Pratibimbavad, reflected theory. Water and the sun, that's reflection. That's Shankara's school. Abhashabad by Sureshwaracharya. That Atman reflects in the mind. Then Prakashatma Modi, Sarvajnatma Muni, Prakashatma Jyoti, they all believe Pratibimbavad. Abachedavad. Do you know what is Abachedavad? Here is a forest. Millions of trees are there. That one tree is you, one tree is me. In this way, each individual being is a tree. The sum total of these trees is the forest. So God, Brahman is the forest, and we are all trees. That is the Bali school of Vachaspati Mishra. Eko Jivavad by Appai Dikshit. There are different schools of Vedanta. Only soul is one. And these are all subsidiary small souls. Just like here is a big chandelier. It is one chandelier, but it has 4 billion bulbs. That is the school of Appai Dikshit. Eko Jivavad. Abachedavad. Anyhow, there are many Vedantic schools. The Vaishnava school, Chetanananda says, Achinta Veda Avedavad. Do you know what this means? It means here is the ocean. Ocean is one. But in this ocean there is some plants, some herbs, some mammals, so many fish, whales, so many sharks, so many things are in the ocean. But the ocean is one. Bhed, Aved. Division, non-division, both are there. So God is one, but again we are many, that is all. One school says, if you go to heaven, you will have to come back. When you go to deep sleep, again you will come back. But when you merge into Brahman, will you come back? That is the question. You have no desire. At that time, you have no desire to come back. Because you killing the desires, you can go Brahman. At that time, you are completely desireless. Your desire will not come back to, your desire will not rise to come back. Do you know what does mean? Sri Ramakrishna says, here is the needle and here is the thread. If there is many fibers in the thread, it will not go in through the eye of a needle. What do? You take a little moisture or water, you rub on the thread and make it one-pointed, and then it goes through. That one-pointedness, that ekagrata, that comes when your mind is completely pure, free from desire and doubts. That mind goes to Brahman. Mononash Vasanakkhay Tattva-gyan. Vasanakkhay. The cessation of desires. When there is no desire, dissolution of the mind. Mind dissolves. And when mind dissolves, you get self-knowledge. That is the school of Yoga Vasishta. If you have desires, you are not going to have the knowledge of Brahman. Mamai vangsho jivo loki jivo bhuta vanasashtanindani prakriti sthani karshati. Jiva brahmer bheda bhed. Let me see what this commentator says. Tadhama paramam mama. That is my supreme goal. Do you know why people, when they reach Brahman, they do not want to come back? Sri Ramakrishna told a parable. 4 friends went and found a big wall. And they are curious to see that what is there. So they took a ladder and put on the wall. The first person got up and saw. Ha 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 ha. He laughed and jumped into the ocean. He did not come back. The second friend also did the same thing. Third friend also did the same thing. Seeing that infinite ocean of bliss, they do not want to come back to this sorrowful, miserable world. They jumped into the ocean of Satchidananda, do not want to come back. But the 4th friend, he went and saw it and came back. That person is avatar. He comes back to tell the people in this world, look, behind this wall there is infinite bliss. All of you are seeking bliss, bliss, bliss. Nobody wants misery, misery, misery. I know the source of bliss. I know the ocean of bliss. Come with me. I shall take you to the other side of the wall. That is the message of the Upanishad. That is the message of all the avatars. Buddha, Christ, Krishna, Ramakrishna, they came back to this world after experiencing that infinite. Come with me, I shall take you there. Tadhamo paramam mamo, that is my abode. I know it. You know, when we read the Gita, if we meditate the words, there are so many things are there. Tadhamo paramam mamo. Jiva Rupa. Parampad, Gantavyasan, that is the goal. Eshaisya Paramagoti. The Atman is the supreme goal. Eshaisya Parama Sampad. This is the supreme wealth. Eshaisya Parama Loka. This is the supreme abode. Eshaisya Parama Ananda. This is the supreme bliss. Having a little bliss of this, Matra Upajivanti, all these human beings live in this world. If we do not have joy, bliss, we will not live in this world. We get very particular bliss, joy which comes from that Brahman. But we do not know it. We want that bliss continuously. Everybody wants joy. Nobody wants misery. They do not know that bliss, that joy comes from God, Brahman. That does not come from the dead body. The dead body does not give any peace and bliss. Living consciousness. Bliss comes from that consciousness. Apara prakriti jada, para prakriti chaitanyamayi. Apara prakriti, this manifested universe is apara, with maya and consciousness mixed. And para prakriti is supreme, pure consciousness. Consciousness, and it is consciousness and unconsciousness mixed. So the jiva is the mixed. Consciousness is there, unconsciousness is there. The body is unconscious. Matter and spirit combined is the jiva. And Ishvara is only spirit. That is the difference. That is infinite, this is finite. This is finite God, and that is infinite God. Bhumaiva sukham, nalpe sukham asti. Bliss is only in the infinite, not in the finite. Muttam, alpam, the thing which is alpo, little, cannot bring supreme bliss. Think of this way. Here is the ocean, Samudra, it is water. And here is a drop of water. Both are water. But this is infinite, this is finite. There is some similarity in water. Regarding water, both have water. But there is a difference, and again there is a separation. Sadrishya, Vaishadrishya. Sun and the rays of the sun. So this God and all these human beings are the rays of God. But it's this commentator gave a very beautiful example. Dabanol, terrible forest fire, all the trees are burning. And here is a oil lamp. A little light is flickering, and here is a forest fire. When the wind blows, this lamp extinguishes. But When the wind blows, this forest fire increases. Amazing that how same air is blowing, one is expanding, another is extinguishing. It's a Jeev and Ishvara, like this. Light. Maya, Raja and Tamaguna, they are Maya. Sattva is the Anandamaya Kosha. That is partially little Maya, but that is the just first covering of the Brahman, we can see. That is Ishvara. The abode of God is Gotihin. It's not shaky. Very steady. You know, you will find some human beings. We read in the Bhagavad Gita, last part of the second chapter, Krishna described the man of steady wisdom. The people who are steady, they are dependable, responsible. People love those steady people in this world. The person unsteady, crazy, nobody trusts that person. So he is telling that Dhamma, the abode of God, is very steady, it does not shake. But the Jiva Loka, this universe, this Maya, domain of Maya, is continuously moving, shaky, 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 just like Wall Street. Our stocks are rising and falling, rising and falling. The world is also same. This commentator gave a beautiful example. When you go in your home, you are very steady, calm, serene, your living room. The moment you sit in your car, you are unsteady. At that time, you have no control. The movement of the car is controlling you. That is this world. This world is nothing but a car, continuously moving, moving, moving. You have no control. Wherever the car goes, you move that direction. Who drives this car? Prakriti, Maya. This universe, that is the car. This world is a car, big car. It can hold 4 billion people. It is moving. Who is driving this car? Prakriti, Maya. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha. It is the Prakriti, through the 3 gunas. All these activities are going on in this world. And we are the part. The Prakriti, who is controlling the Prakriti? God. Brahma Bhuta. When you are in the car, you are Jiva Bhuta, you are a Jiva. But when you are at home, you are Brahma Bhuta. Your home is God. Jiva, Ishwarer Angsha. These all individual beings are the parts of God. Sanatana, eternal part. They never, never, never separated. This commentator gave a beautiful example. Your hand. If it is separated, what will happen? It will be rotten. It will disintegrate if your hand is cut. But if it is connected with body, if blood is flowing, all the oxygen is going on, your hands are strong, your all limbs are strong. That is the way we can understand God and human beings. This hand is the part of the body. So all these human beings are the part of God. If one limb of the body is separated from the body, it is gone. It will be destroyed. Jeev. the Earth came out from the sun, all these planets, and they're rotating in their own orbit. Very beautifully he gave us examples. These Unu Jeev, these little human beings, Unu, small, it can have two directions. It can go to Prakriti, it can go to God. It is all in the hands of the driver, the steering. You are steering your car. You can go to the temple, you can go to the tavern. You can go to the Las Vegas, you can go to any temple. It is all in your hands. When the river flows through the mountain region, it has very limited moving. When it comes to the ocean, it takes the ocean shape. Similarly, if you drive your car towards the Jada Prakriti, this Maya, you will develop demoniacal nature. And if you drive your car to this ocean, that infinite vast ocean, you will get divine nature. It is all how you want to change your nature. Because remember that you are the part of God. You in this human life, Jiva Bhuta, you only can change in this world yourself. This is Karma Bhumi, Bhoga Bhumi. This is the abode of action. What happens? Suppose you were cross country, or perhaps you will go from plane one place from here to India or Japan. Sometimes we have to change the plane. So the jivas also change bodies because it is a long journey. It is a long journey toward the infinite. That is called birth and death. Change your journey. My goodness, I'm going to finish 2 verses. I have so many things to say. Time is over. Anyhow, we shall talk more about Gita. You see, do you know why these scriptures are just like our mother? Amba. Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadeshinim. In the meditation of the Gita, Gita has been addressed as the Amba, loving mother. Always guide us to select, to walk, to move to the path of God. We shall talk more about this 15th chapter of the Gita in the next time. Masato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotidgamaya, mritturma amritam gamaya, avirabirmayedhi, rudrajatte dakshinam mukham, tenamam pahi nityam, om shanti shanti shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Light us through and guide us evermore with the loving presence. Om, peace, peace, peace be to all.